Broken Matt Hardy makes a surprise return to TNA Wrestling last night at the Rebellion pay-per-view. All of the details on that, plus is he still a free agent? We'll let you know if he is or isn't. Former AEW star Mike Santana makes his return to TNA Wrestling, as well as Sami Callihan, the former TNA World Champion, also makes his return to the promotion at the Rebellion pay-per-view. Also, we have an update on the date and location for the TNA Slammiversary pay-per-view later on this year. Bryan Danielson is successful in his bunkhouse brawl alongside Claudio Castagnoli against the Don Callis family, but also cuts an emotional promo afterwards on AEW Collision. Jon Moxley versus Powerhouse Hobbs is now for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship next week on AEW Dynamite. Drew McIntyre sends a message to Jinder Mahal after his WWE release earlier on this week, and Gunther is announced for this coming week's edition of Monday Night Raw. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's start off talking about the surprise return to TNA Wrestling for Broken Matt Hardy last night at TNA Rebellion. Now, after speculation that he may be returning to WWE after his AEW contract expired, Matt Hardy has actually appeared at a TNA Wrestling pay-per-view. Yes, as current TNA Wrestling Tag Team Champions, The System, that being Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers, were standing on the entrance ramp at TNA Rebellion. Their video feed was cut into by ominous glitches. However, when the lights went out and came back on, Matt Hardy was standing in the ring, making his return to TNA. Appearing in his broken Matt Hardy attire, commentary said, "The broken one is here," as Hardy went on to attack fellow member of the System, that being TNA World Heavyweight Champion Moose, in the ring. With Hardy leading the crowd in a delete chant, Tom Hannafin on commentary punctuated the moment by noting, "The System has been broken." Well, Hardy had been clear that he was taking his time to make the right decision regarding his future. He had been engaging in some intriguing social media behavior that led some to speculate that he could be on his way back to WWE. Now, this led to people to suggest that he signed a contract with TNA Wrestling, but that doesn't look to be the case because in response to a post on social media, Hardy confirmed, saying, quote, "No, I'm a free agent. I will appear when I want to appear." So Hardy confirming that as of right now, he still has not signed a contract with TNA Wrestling. He still is technically a free agent, but he is seemingly going to be doing some dates with TNA Wrestling after holding up, as I mentioned, the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. Moose had just retained the TNA World title over Nick Nemeth before Hardy appeared and hit a twist of fate and then held up the TNA World Championship. Now, Hardy, of course, had finished up with AEW at the beginning of April. His contract had expired in March, but was extended for a few weeks. Hardy, of course, famously created the Broken Universe in TNA Wrestling back in 2016. He last wrestled for TNA in January of 2017, although he did appear on Impact Wrestling programming back during the pandemic, during 2020, I think into 2021, appearing with Private Party during the time in which there was a bit of an AEW and Impact crossover, with Kenny Omega being the Impact World Champion at the time. So what are your thoughts on Broken Matt Hardy returning to TNA Wrestling? What do you think this means for his future? Do you think he's going to eventually sign a contract there? Do you care about Broken Matt Hardy anymore? Let me know your thoughts about it in the comments section below. Now, it wasn't the only former AEW star to return to TNA Wrestling last night, because Mike Santana is back. Yes, Santana returned to TNA Wrestling during last night's pay-per-view Rebellion. TNA's authority figure, Santino Marella, revealed that Santana was back in the promotion during a segment featuring Steve Maclin. Of course, that's formerly known as Steve Cutler in WWE. During the segment, Maclin noted that TNA Wrestling had offered him a new contract and he was having a match right now. Marella would then appear and announce that he had just signed another star to a contract, leading to the return of Santana. Santana and Maclin would go on to have a match, which Santana won via pinfall. Now, of course, prior to being among some of the original stars in AEW, Santana was a star in the then branded Impact Wrestling. Santana previously appeared in a tag team with Ortiz as members of LAX, picking up the tag team championships 4 times during his tenure with Impact. Now, seemingly, he is back, and possibly he's going to be going for singles gold as well. What do you make of Mike Santana's return? Can he make a big splash in TNA Wrestling? Can he have a strong singles career? Let me know your thoughts about that as well in the comment section below. Now, certainly it was a night of returns for TNA because Sami Callihan is also back in TNA Wrestling. Sami Callihan is back. Now, Callihan returned to TNA Wrestling at TNA Rebellion, helping Jordan Grace retain the TNA Knockouts World Championship over Steph DeLander. Now, the bout was littered with interference as the good hands, that being Jason Hotch and John Schuyler, and Khan interfered on behalf of DeLander. PCO helped Grace before the lights went out and came back on to reveal the returning Callihan. Now, the reason we say return here is because Callihan actually left TNA Wrestling after his contract expired at the end of September 2023. Now, he has wrestled for various independent promotions since then. He's appeared in MLW and continued to run his Wrestling Revolver promotion. There had been reports and rumors that there were those in AEW that were posturing and hoping that Sami Callihan could be brought in there, maybe not as a talent, but as a backstage agent, as a coach, whatever they call it in AEW. But it appears he's now back in TNA Wrestling. If we get any more confirmation on contract, if he signed a contract, or if he's a bit like Matt Hardy, where he's still a free agent, we'll let you know, of course, in the future. Now, a bit of an update as well when it comes to Slammiversary, because TNA is returning to Canada for Slammiversary later on this year. TNA Wrestling announced that TNA Slammiversary will take place on July 20 from the Verdun Auditorium in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. This will mark the second straight year the event has been held in Canada. TNA Slammiversary 2023 took place from St. Clair College in Windsor, Ontario, Canada. TNA Slammiversary, of course, is TNA's annual event, celebrating the anniversary of the company, which ran its first event in June 2002. Now, let's talk about Bryan Danielson. Of course, he's going to be competing tonight at AEW Dynasty. Of course, we will have a watch-along and a post-show for that, so be sure to join me. Be sure to click subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Click those notification bells. You'll be notified when we go live for both the watch-along and the post-show later on tonight. But Bryan Danielson, he, along with the Claudio Castagnoli of the Blackpool Combat Club, was successful in their bunkhouse brawl last night on Collision. And Danielson says that for him, heaven is spilling his blood inside of a wrestling ring. After he and Claudio Castagnoli defeated Konosuke Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher in a bunkhouse brawl on the April 20 AEW Collision, Bryan Danielson took the microphone and addressed the audience in Peoria, Illinois. As he was bleeding, Danielson proclaimed that some would ask why he would take on such a violent match 24 hours before he wrestles Will Ospreay at AEW Dynasty, and that is when Danielson said that for him, it's heaven inside of the squared circle. He said, quote, "I have a lot of people asking me, what the hell are you doing in a bunkhouse match the night before you wrestle Will Ospreay? It's because of this. Some people, when they think of heaven, they think of streets of gold. They think of 40 virgins. That's not me. But spirit is a part of this. When I die, my heaven will be standing in the ring, bleeding in front of all of you people right here in Peoria, Illinois, having a whole crew of people trying to break my neck before I wrestle with the best in the world, and telling them there's no way in hell they can do it, because tomorrow at Dynasty, Will Ospreay, I'm going to beat your ass." Now, Danielson is currently in his last year as a full-time professional wrestler, but has openly stated in the past he's not looking to retire anytime soon and could be taking on a part-time schedule for AEW in the future. Now, we know that the match between Jon Moxley and Powerhouse Hobbs is set for AEW Dynamite next week, but the stakes have been raised. On last night's episode of AEW Collision, Powerhouse Hobbs put on a commanding display, beating CJ Esparza in less than 2 minutes. After the match, Don Callis revealed that he had called in every favor he possibly could in Japan in order to secure a major title shot for Hobbs. Callis revealed that Hobbs' upcoming match on Dynamite against Jon Moxley will be for Moxley's newly won IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. As the match was confirmed, news was made as Moxley's first defense of the IWGP Championship will be on AEW television against an AEW star. Later, Moxley looked ahead to the match in a passionate backstage promo in which he promised to summon the absolute best from Powerhouse Hobbs in their upcoming Dynamite bout. Elsewhere on last night's AEW Collision, the team of FTR and PAC defeated the Elite, that being the Young Bucks and Kazuchika Okada, ahead of their matches on pay-per-view at Dynasty. Of course, PAC will challenge Okada for the Continental Championship, whereas FTR and the Young Bucks will have a ladder match to determine who will become the brand new AEW World Tag Team Champions. Now, Drew McIntyre sent a message to his former 3MB stablemate Jinder Mahal following the former WWE Champion's release from the company on Friday. Of course, Jinder was the most notable of 5 WWE stars who were released from the company on Friday, with Via, Sanga, Xylee, and Zion Quinn also being let go from their contracts. Now, this was not Jinder's first time being released, as he and Drew McIntyre were both members of 3MB when they were released from the company initially in 2014. Jinder returned to the company in 2016, with McIntyre also returning to the company a few months later in 2017. Upon their returns to the company, both McIntyre and Mahal went on to capture the WWE Championship, with Jinder shocking the world and defeating Randy Orton to win the title back in May 2017. Taking to Twitter following the news of Jinder's release, McIntyre sent an emotional message to Jinder telling him to show them again. He said, quote, "We showed them once, now show them again, brother." Now, eventually, Mahal responded to McIntyre saying, quote, "Come back, King." So do you think there's any chance in the future we could see Jinder Mahal back inside of a WWE ring, more popular and better than he's ever been? Or do you think this is the last time we've seen Jinder in WWE? Let me know your thoughts about that as well in the comment section below. And finally, Gunther, his first appearance on WWE television since WrestleMania has been confirmed. Gunther will return to Raw this coming Monday for the first time since losing the Intercontinental Championship to Sami Zayn at WrestleMania 40. The Ring General had enjoyed a record 666-day reign with the title before dropping it in Philadelphia, remarkably only his third loss by pinfall or submission since joining WWE in 2019. There is naturally a question over what's next for him as he returns to the promotion. The field, of course, is currently set for the World Heavyweight Championship on Raw, with Jey Uso earning an opportunity at Damian Priest's title. But there is a chance Gunther may seek revenge against Sami Zayn. Of course, Zayn successfully retained his title over Chad Gable last week, with Gable turning on his comrade afterwards as well. The 2024 WWE Draft is also on the horizon, so a return to SmackDown could be on the cards. Gunther originally won the Intercontinental title as part of the Blue brand before switching to Monday nights as part of last year's draft, with the United States champion Austin Theory heading in the opposite direction. The one man to have handed Gunther a submission loss in WWE, current NXT champion Ilya Dragunov, recently debuted on Raw ahead of the draft, with it being announced that he will be available for selection. So there may be an opportunity for them to reignite their NXT UK feud, as their saga currently stands at 1 apiece. But there you go, guys. This is the latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.